Good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Minute Meditation. Today our meditation is taken from Psalms chapter number 62, verse number 2 and verse number 6. The psalmist here in the chapter is not in a good place. As a matter of fact, he's in a place, a circumstance that has him waiting upon God. In this holding pattern, he begins to talk about his expectation. He says in verse number 5 that I am expecting some things from the Lord. My expectation is from Him, the psalmist David states. Then in verse number 2 and in verse number 6, which are our text verses for the day, he makes this statement. He's talking about the Lord. He said, He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. In other words, he was placing his trust in the Lord. And he referred to the Lord by a name that the Jewish people understood very readily what he was talking about. He referred to him as their rock. Now remember the rock in the wilderness that followed them around and supplied the water for them? That is what he is referring to. The Jewish people understood that a rock was symbolizing the Lord and the Lord's ability to care for them even in circumstances that were dire and extreme. And so it is here that he talks about relying upon the Lord as a rock. Years ago, a sailor was tossed from his ship in a storm, and as the ship crashed and he was alone in the sea, he crawled upon a rock and held on. The storm was raging and it was high tide, and he was nearly swept away on numerous occasions, but finally at low tide someone came by and rescued him. A friend asked him later, he said, "Weren't you shaking with great fear?" He said, "Yes, I was shaking, but the rock never shook." And may I say to you today that we have a rock that is solid, steadfast, and sure. It is our safety and our security, and that rock is the Lord Jesus Christ. The psalmist reiterates this point twice in verse 2 and verse 6, saying the same thing. When he does that, he is emphasizing a great truth. The great truth is you can count on God. He is our rock, and He will not move, and He will not fail. From the Higher Grounds podcast, have a great day.